is the year 2005. The treacherous Decepticons have conquered the Autobots' home planet of Cybertron. It is the year 2005. The treacherous Decepticons have conquered the Autobots' home planet of Cybertron. is the year 2005. The treacherous Decepticons have conquered the Autobots' home planet of Cybertron. Cybertrons! Of Cybertron. Cybertrons! Of Cybertron. Of Cybertrons! 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 Cybertrons! Of Cybertron.
Dun, dun. There we are. Dun,
Are
dun,
you ready?
dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Professor D.
DJ Spinister.
On deck. Hey, where's Anthony?
Should be here any moment.
All right, now. Should I check the stream?
You may.
All right, I shall. In that case, I shall.
While you're checking it, what shall we speak on tonight?
Got a couple ideas.
Okay.
I think that we should keep a G1.
I think so.
I can't answer your question and also pull the thing up. So
Okay.
I'm tossing it over to DJ Sprinter for a moment so that I can check the stream and see if it's all good, if you know what I mean.
So we'll keep it. We'll keep it G1. I mean, we could speak on an Autobot or Decepticon. Sorry.
My idea is that I will pose questions and then I will score the two of you on your answers.
All right.
So it's Professor D's Transformers theory quiz night. We're getting quiz. It's a pop-up quiz. That's
Nice.
the theme today. Today is
Nice.
a Transformers pop-up quiz. Yeah. Yeah, that's our theme.
All right. The pop-up quiz it is.
For those of you who are inquisitive, the pop-up quiz
Right.
it is. All right, now listen. Big Papa Professor D has a lot of talents, but one of which is not being able to talk and type at the same time.
Okay. Why am I not hearing you?
Because I can't talk right now. I'm trying to pull up the stream, bro.
All right. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Children of Primus from childrenofprimus.com. I am DJ Spinister. With me, I have Professor D. And shortly, we should have Mr. Anthony with us.
We got to give him a nickname.
Fear or courage?
It works as a screen handle, right? But not. It doesn't really work as like a.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Children of Primus.
All right, you got sound.
All right. Well, maybe we'll figure that out in this episode.
What? Oh, his nickname for him. Yeah. What is his last name? Let's talk. Maybe we'll get him on screen quicker.
Background noise.
Is that a jet?
No, it's actually a train.
Where are you?
Other side of a house, but it's like there's a train that's like further down the street, but you can like slightly hear it on this end.
Okay. Anthony.
But here you are. All right, let me get you into the screen.
I've been there. I'll share that I've been there. Seeing as you're on Facebook, I can confirm, Anthony. Well, Spin is pulling you into the stream. I can confirm that we are live on YouTube. You want to just cool? And can you check the sound? Make sure that you can hear all three of us.
Yeah, let me just mute this tab for a second.
There we go. You are in.
And you are. Well, the ASMR.
Yep, I can confirm that we have audio, and it's good sounding audio because I happen to hear everybody talking at a different point.
Excellent.
Nice.
Excellent.
All right. Well, on that note, let us begin.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let me show something off first of all, because this was an incredible waste of time that I need to show off as a result.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So this is Studio Series Cup, who has removable arms and legs.
We got to marinate on that for a minute.
Yeah.
What is happening there?
Cluck. Like what? Like what the cluck?
Yeah.
What is going on there?
Wait,
so this is...
Wait. Anthony, I'll ask the questions here.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, Anthony, do you know what the theme is?
I heard it was a freestyle.
No, well, you're wrong. I don't know where you heard that. But that's what, even before, today it's the pop-up quiz.
Oh, okay.
Big Papa D Transformers Theory pop-up quiz. And you're going to get scored on your answers. But first, let's hear a little something about I don't know what the cluck.
Yeah,
My question was, though, Studio Series, that means, if I'm not wrong, that he's a character from a film.
Yep. Well,
but
the part of it is...
character being named Cluck in any of the films. Please fill us in.
Okay, so at the core of this is Studio Series Cup from the 1986 movie. And because he comes with pop-off limbs to replicate the bit where he got torn apart by a squid. These limbs are compatible with the War for Cybertron weapons connections. So I took the 4 weaponizers I own and took them apart and built them into limbs and created an unholy giant combiner.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
holy giant combiner, indeed.
yeah. I would like to point out that I made it so that he can stand up properly and everything holds together. So there's like engineering here.
All right, so it's not complete like stoner material.
No,
This is there's some actual thought that has gone into this.
Yeah, like I said, I had to bring it up here because I'm like, I put way too much effort into making this work not to show it somewhere.
Okay, well that's fair. Can we just sort of as a rule of thumb? I don't know if we still, Anthony may be done talking about Cluck, although I'm not. Well, actually, I have a follow-up question for you, Anthony.
Yes.
About Cluck. So
Yes.
don't put him down yet. However, Spin, what I want to ask you is, just sort of as a default, if somebody... Three. Boom. Now you see me. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Anthony, you see me?
Yeah, I see you.
Spin and I are having a competition to see which one of us can become competent with OBS faster.
Okay, here we go. So let's, yeah. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. The Truth We Make? Yeah. Well, that wasn't fan fiction. That's official. Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. So you remember in the animated movie, he got his arms ripped off. Hot Rod tried to repair him, and Cop was like, "I could swear you left a piece out." What if Hot Rod did such a bad job of repairing him that he started throwing in parts from unrelated robots, and it just kept snowballing, and Hot Rod just had too much pride to admit that he was in way over his head. And so when he finally declared himself done, he wound up with this mess with like 4 other robots worth of parts. Well, yeah, he is, but yeah. Oh, they're alive. These are weaponizers. They're supposed to come apart. It's one guy right there inside his arm. When you mess up a repair job. Yeah. That sounds like a wheeljack thing. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I guess she'll die. So at the end, after everybody's thrown in their opinions and everybody's tried to correct every single mistake, you have a gigantic robot with like 4 other guys acting as his arms and legs. I like to note his original arms and legs are here too. There's his actual arm, and his actual legs are acting as heel spurs, keeping him supported. So they just added a bunch of meat in between. Mm-hmm. It's just whichever lady engineer helped out.
Female transformer is a mechanic or a medic.
Nautica from Lost Light.
Okay.
Got her wrench and everything. Yeah. This is a recent character though. They added her in like 2012.
That's cool. And what about the character that came as a Generation Select recently with Ratchet?
That would be Lifeline, the green RC.
Well, that name sounds like she's a medic.
Yeah. Specifically, she's the Paradron medic from the 3rd season of the cartoon.
Oh, she is from the cartoon.
Yeah, briefly. We're talking like 10 seconds in a crowd shot, and that's it. But they noticed that it was a green RC, so they're like, we can take RC and repaint that figure.
I'm trying to remember. Is that the one with the episode with Sandstorm? Or
Yeah. They go to the planet Paradron. The people on Paradron were pacifists that left before the war started. Cyclonus and Scourge wind up there, and the Paradron medic helps them recover because they don't know about the war and that they're Decepticons, and it all just kind of snowballs from there.
Right.
I don't remember that episode. I gotta go back and watch it.
Yeah, it's called Fight or Flee, and it's in the 3rd season.
It's called what?
I mean, we'll do episode reviews.
Yeah. It's called Fight or Flee. But yeah, I remember I watched it because I'm like, when I did a write-up of her, I did a review, and I was like, I want to find some screenshots I can use. She's really only in it for like 15 seconds tops.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that that's a perfect, when the character is only in it for that short period of time. That's perfect for doing fan fiction or for creating new, new G1 stories, right?
Yeah.
New stories set in the G1 continuum that is faithful to the world, but is updated and current and relevant.
Yeah, right. D-list randos are the best characters because you can make them into whatever you want.
Right. As you've said before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you sort of describe the Wreckers in that way?
Yeah. I mean, that was sort of the impetus behind their creation back in the day because they were like threw together a bunch of D-listers that hadn't had any screen time. We're like, they're a gang now. They're called the Wreckers. And that's when they're not when the continuity allows it. That's what they always are. That's what they were in Last Stand of the Wreckers too.
Is that so? You're saying in addition to in in real life they're D-list figures, that's sort of like part of the gimmick within the fiction itself.
Yeah, especially in Last Stand of the Wreckers. It's like a part of the point of it is that they're like nobodies who are being sent to do this.
What Hollywood movie is that's reminding me of?
That sounds familiar.
The Rock is in it. The
Rock is in
a
it?
cop movie with Wahlberg. I think.
The other guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you seen that, Spin?
No, I'm thinking of this other one where it was like almost like every single actor in Hollywood was in
the
movie.
Expendables.
Yes.
You see, the thing about that is those were all A-listers. The whole point of the Wreckers is that these are like D-listers.
Yep.
Absolutely. That is the difference.
Yeah.
However, they were A-listers, right? So the similarity is that although they were A-listers, that was some time ago, right? So part of the gimmick is like, we still got it. I got a hip replaced and I had a shoulder, repaired with a bunch of.
You're just describing Cup.
Carried his gun, right?
You're just describing Cup, who's been in the Wreckers sometimes.
So who were the Wreckers? Were the jump starters in the Wreckers?
Yeah, in both G1 and IDW.
And then also Whirl and Roadbuster.
Wait, in G1? The Wreckers were in G1? I thought they were only in IDW.
No, they were in the Marvel UK comics. They weren't in Marvel US. They were, like Simon Furman before he jumped ship to the American comic. He was the guy that created them. Yeah, and it was like, I mean, it was like Springer, Impactor, Roadbuster, Whirl, Topspin, Twin Twist.
Wait, Springer? He doesn't belong. If it's D-listers.
Yeah, well, he's the token A-lister.
Okay.
There's always like.
He became the leader after their original leader was killed?
Yeah, Impactor.
Now, was Impactor always an Autobot?
In G1, yeah, but in both IDW and in Siege, they give him a. Well, no, in Siege he used to be a Decepticon. In IDW, he was friends with Megatron before the war happened, but he was never actually a Decepticon. Like, they were both miners in the same mine, and they knew each other and, like, interacted.
That was in where?
That was in IDW, Last Stand of the Wreckers.
Okay, so that's why. So he was there with Megatron at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why.
Yeah. They parted ways, and by the time the war started, they were on opposite sides.
I had never seen or heard of the character prior to seeing the Siege figure.
Yeah.
And then it was subsequent to that I saw him maybe in those. I was looking at the Rise of Megatron.
Yeah.
I think after one of you guys told me that there are those, the comics are read on YouTube, and so that I went back and checked that out.
Yeah.
And so then I saw him there, so I was thinking he was a Decepticon.
Yeah, but no, he existed all the way back in Marvel G1 because his role was to be the former leader of the Wreckers that gets killed, and then Springer takes over. But it kind of ballooned a little bit out of that. Like, they brought him back, and then he became a fan favorite. And then when IDW happened, and the guy that wrote Last Stand of the Wreckers is a UK guy, he's like, I'm going to bring Impactor back in the new universe and make him important. So that's sort of where he came from.
All right. So, and now, do you have the Siege figure?
Yeah, I have the version from the 3-pack. Which has a head that looks like his IDW version.
Yeah.
And is actually branded a Decepticon because of he's a Decepticon in Siege.
So, okay, so there you go. That also makes that also has to do with the reason why I thought he was a Decepticon.
Yeah, it's weird how they handled the figure of him, because like the mainline version has a head that looks like how he looked back in Marvel, and it brands him as an Autobot. And then this version's got a different head. It looks like what he looked like in Last Stand of the Wreckers, and then brands him as a Decepticon, which he wasn't really, but whatever. Good figure anyway. One of the better ones in Siege, I think.
All right. All right.
But yeah, people that really care might stick a little repro label on there to put an Autobot symbol there, and then call it a day.
Because you're saying that he was primarily an Autobot?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's only in the Siege cartoon that he was presented as a Decepticon, and then they made one figure that ran with it.
Okay, I'm going to set up a couple things here to then begin asking you guys, to then begin the formal part of our stream.
All right.
But to give myself 5 minutes to do that, I'm going to ask you another question. Also, spin for you to get ready, because I still hear you clicking. Maybe you want to just mute your mic while you're doing your clicking for the reason that we discussed. Right. Your keyboard's right there, and your ASMR chair. But Anthony, seeing as I don't know how many reviews you've done on the website, but it's been a number. Why don't you take a couple minutes and give us your highlights of maybe your top? What are the highlights of your top 3 reviews? Maybe I'll just give you some I'll just give some ideas, and you can answer any of these or pick 1 or 2. You could either tell us about, which figure did you think was going to suck, and then when you got it, did your review, you found it was really dope. Which was most disappointing, which do you think was your best write-up? Like if somebody's going to go check it out for the first time on childrenofprimus.com, no fee necessary. What is the shining example of a review that you wrote that we should send people over to? They should check out. So over to you.
Okay, I can answer all 3 of these. I'll start with
somehow I just had the feeling you might be able to.
Yeah,
I got a lot of faith in you. Now I'll be listening
even
if you don't see me, but I'll come back in 5 minutes, much less than a day or 2.
Okay, 2 of these examples are from Kingdom.
Let's give them a full screen.
Okay. So my first example, to answer the first question, which was something that I didn't think was going to be great and then impressed me, would be Kingdom Cheetor. I'll admit I'm going kind of completist on getting the Beast Wars cast, so I was just going to grab him anyway. But I didn't think he looked good in his robot mode. I wasn't a big fan of the character, but just in hand, he turned out to be like one of the better figures in the line. He's like really smooth and easy to transform, and he's like ridiculously posable in both modes, including his animal mode. And a lot of Beast Wars figures didn't really have posable animal modes. They were just kind of statues. But yeah, this is something that I didn't think I was going to like and wound up being one of my favorites. And that's written up on there. And conversely, I don't think I've reviewed a figure that I just genuinely didn't like. But I think Optimus Primal wound up kind of disappointing me, surprisingly. So there's a lot of little stuff wrong with him. Like, maybe it's because I handled the original back in the day, but he's like really difficult to transform. He's got paint on his legs that sheds really easily. And generally the like 96 figure actually does way more than this guy does. So I think this is kind of like a side grade at best, maybe a bit of a downgrade. It's not bad, but he's definitely kind of pales in comparison to the old one, which they're reissuing. I might just grab it and write that one up too. I don't have it anymore.
Which one is this?
Oh, nice.
They're doing a little.
No, I know
they're doing a short.
No, I know that. I mean, the one that you showed us. Which one is that?
This is Kingdom Optimus Primal. This is the new one.
Okay. Oh, got you. And you don't have the Masterpiece one.
I used to. I don't own it anymore.
You didn't write it. You didn't do a write up.
No, this is way before I was writing for the website.
Okay. So I guess you didn't like it that much if you you sold it.
Well, I just kind of got out of Masterpiece. And I've talked about that before. They were getting more and more expensive and more complicated, and I was having more fun with Generation stuff. So I just I just sold off the masterpieces I had. Made a bunch of cash off it, so that didn't feel too bad, and um, just sort of committed to the mainline stuff. And I'd say probably my favorite write-up was probably one of my favorite figures was writing up Generation Select's Hubcap, just because I'm very fond of the character. So I put a lot of work into explaining what it was that I liked about him and what made him work, and I had fun taking the photos. So this is probably one of my favorite ones to write. And if somebody was going to read one of mine, this is what I direct them towards. I just think they did them right.
1 second. I just muted my mic to make sure it wasn't coming on my end before I ask you guys. So, I'm hearing some background. Something's playing in the background.
Yeah, I'm getting that too. It's not on my end.
But I'm muted through OBS, so we can hear each other, but everyone else can't when I'm on mute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like voices or a radio playing or some kind of thing like that. I don't mean you're clicking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Back to you, Anthony.
Yeah. But yeah, Generation Select's Hubcap. Probably one of my favorite write-ups to do, which goes hand in hand with it being one of my favorite figures. So, I went off talking about why I liked it so much.
Cool.
And yeah, those would be my three. The reason that I built that Sergeant that monstrosity with Cup is because he's my new one for tomorrow, and that didn't wind up in the review. But I did do a couple of freaky combinations that I did take pictures of that are going to be up there.
Nice. Spin, technical question for you. On the live stream right now.
Yes.
We've got Anthony there on full screen.
Yeah.
So we still have that rectangle for the comments, which are you not able to run the comments in there real time right now?
I have the YouTube comments running on real time. The Facebook comments kind of work differently in terms of getting them real time, but I'm figuring it out.
Let's talk about YouTube right now. So YouTube,
yes.
Is it actually showing the comments?
Yes. Yeah. So if anyone is watching and typing, it will show up real time.
A little bit of an if, I suppose. Okay, so where's Calvin when we need him? I'm on YouTube. I'll type something. So you know why? I guess I didn't realize that. Here, I'll do the same comment I made last time. Oh, how about I use the right keyboard? This is. Anthony, tell me if you see it pop up. Oh, you're not watching it. You're watching Facebook. We'll talk about Facebook in a sec. But let me alert you to this. Is that I think it's fair to still talk about this during the live stream because, seeing as we don't have a huge number of people watching right now, anybody who is watching might appreciate us getting this shit worked out. So, although I see something there, I've typed a comment. I don't see it popping up yet, but it may, we got the lag. But
I see it.
But also the resolution is kind of a problem. Like, it's so small.
Right.
That even when I full screen it on my computer right here, it's not legible. I mean, I can read it because I know what I wrote. I can tell that it says Professor DEO, but I wouldn't be able to read that if I didn't know that it was me.
Well, there's chat options and stuff that I'm going to add later on. in a sense, that's more like the icing on the cake, where it's like making sure that the actual cakes, what we need is more important.
Well, okay. Although, let me just say, I see you moving it around and zooming in, that does look better. Of course, the problem, is going to go off the screen at that point. But maybe a quick solution. I don't know how long it is or how much effort goes into making the rectangles, but a short solution might be if you just change the orientation of that rectangle. Like if it was a longitudinal rectangle along the bottom of the screen, and then you had it zoomed in the way you have it now. It's not a perfect solution because of resolution, but then it would be legible, and you'd see like a.
It probably would be better, because I think most of the chat options they have a rectangular format on the bottom of the screen, or over an overlay.
Like what your concept was, like to have like the line of the chat is kind of cool, but I think because of the size of the text, like it has to be so small to do that. I think it's better to do just to put it as a rectangle on the bottom. So the other thing
it's feasible. It's just you end up having to use like one of the third party services where then you can adjust the text and it looks legible. It looks legible as opposed to like how the current issue.
Right. But I'm saying like even the way you have it now is like a temporary thing. If like as you're saying you're doing things like I understand that you're doing things step by step in priority order. But even just the way you have it now, if you put this as a longitudinal rectangle on the bottom of the screen, then because the degree to which you've zoomed it in now, you've now made it legible. It's just if I typed a longer comment, I think it would go off the screen. Because I
think so
which
too.
Is welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your pro. Is all we see, right? But if you just put that at the bottom, that would be all good. But so here's the other question that I wanted to ask is if right now, I don't know how these rectangles work, but you seem to be able to anybody who calls in on OBS Ninja, you could stick any of us in any rectangle, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, if you can email me even another OBS Ninja link, you could even just email me Mike's link for now, or maybe Mike's link goes directly to his box. But if you send me another link, I can call in and share a screen from a different computer, and then I could just put an image up there.
Yeah, and that's actually in terms of the episodes, that's actually what I'm using for the episodes idea.
Got it. Okay, cool. So do you already have a link?
I do.
Okay, so why don't you email me the link and let's try that. And that way, like when I want to show you guys an image, rather than me putting it on my screen behind me, which is pretty cool. I think this looks good. But still, if we're in our boxes, like oftentimes when we've been talking, we're still saying, I can kind of see it. I kind of don't see it. So if we have that, so if you could send me that Ninja link, we could try that out.
Actually, I'll just create a second one.
I dare you.
Triple dare me.
Well, it's not that big a deal. Say the triple dare till when double dare wasn't good enough.
Wow.
I was gonna say that's something I'd be interested in too, because I always take a bunch of photos when I do a review, and I could maybe show pictures from it on here.
Yeah.
This will be version 2.0.
But that's all good things in time type thing.
Yes.
So the next level version of it, which I'm not saying let's solve right now, would be if there's a way that we could all simultaneously, like in the same episode, have control of that box. I'm not sure how that would work. Like right now, if you're going to send me the link and I'll go in on my Surface Pro that I have right here, which is separate than what I'm using to call you on. But if there's I'm not sure how we would be able to, without you having an additional thing to keep track of and click on, if there's a way for all of us to have control of the box, right?
Right. Oh, well, we'll figure it out.
So, Anthony, we are thinking that all of us have. Remind me what your last name is again.
Jeremiah with a G.
It's not bad.
Everybody looks at it and says Jeremiah, but I am neither a bullfrog nor an Amish farmer.
Bullfrog.
Wow.
Done.
But that's specifically not how you're supposed to say it.
We're not gonna call you Jeremiah. We're calling you Bullfrog from now on. That's your Transformer name.
Dang, I don't have any bullfrog transformers. They made a few of them, but I don't own any.
Did they? See, this
really?
is why he needs control of that box right now. 'Cause
Yeah.
we need you to throw
Well,
a
they
few
made
images of
toads.
some Bullfrog Transformers.
Well, they made toads and frogs. They basically made one character and then repainted him. There was a guy in Beast Wars named Spitter. He was one of those poison dart frogs, the blue ones with the little orange.
Wow.
And then in Beast Wars the Second, they painted him in green and made him a Maximal named Diver. And then back in Beast Wars, Spitter got a Transmetal 2 figure. And then that Transmetal 2 figure got turned into Slapper, who was actually on TV in the Robots in Disguise anime. So there has been 4 frogs that I know of. I think there was a guy in the new Robots in Disguise show, like another green frog, but I don't really remember. So it's like 5 at least, maybe more.
That's funny. I mean, in terms of names, like what kind of creativity do they have at the names? That's kind of funny, though.
Spitter, Diver, Slapper.
I just need to say this. So, Anthony, you know this history of I pitched to Spin like, yo, we should do like a Transformers live stream YouTube, and then he's like, oh, we already got that going, right? We've talked about that before. Had that not happened, had you guys not already had that rolling, Spin, and if it was just going to be me and you, after we got it going, we'd be good with, good quote unquote. We'd eventually get the tech worked out. We got the G1 shit on lock. But if we didn't have Anthony, we would have to hire this motherfucker.
Just because of the part of my brain that knows too much about this stuff.
Yes, but that's like icing on the cake of the fact that, like, we know too much also. But you have a really good overlap of the G1 stuff. Mm-hmm. But then all this other stuff that we have no clue about. Right? So like you're talking about all these fucking bullfrogs beyond Jeremiah. Jeremiah honestly is if you asked us to name a bullfrog, we don't it'd be pathetic. Start talking about the bullfrogs I caught when I was a little kid at camp, but I don't know any. Apparently you know some transforming ones. Now, of all this time I've been talking, you have squandered the opportunity to be clicking around on your screen and showing us images of these bullfrogs, which I will, as the scolder of the cast, I'll have to scold you for squandering that opportunity. But nonetheless, overall, this commentary is bravo, my young bullfrog.
All right. Do I have the ability to throw things up on screen?
Well, let's see if we can arrange that. Where are you? There you are. Well, actually, if you do a screen
give a
share,
blank stare if I walk away. It's good to know, Anthony. We all sort of are robots in our different ways, right? And clearly this guy needs a cue. So here's your next cue. Is at what level, and if there's multiple levels in of our Patreon subscribers, what are the different levels in which Pluck will be related in some way to what we provide to our Patreon subscribers when we reach certain levels? So like, when do they get a figure versus do they get the like a short story first and then an illustrated one later, and then like maybe Spin is going to do the stock animation? Can you like break down for us the whole sort of arc of that story?
Okay. At 500 subscribers, we will design and create customized instructions so that, provided that you have the 5 necessary figures, you can build your own Cluck at home. Because it's all off-the-shelf products.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So you don't like, you get like the instructions.
Yeah.
Maybe you do like a video tutorial, but you do have to, find the parts.
That's at 700 subscribers.
Maybe the parts. We can encourage people to sell the parts and buy the parts on some kind of. We could think of like there's like a website, something like Kijiji. I don't know, but that maybe like focuses on Transformers. Spin, could you?
Well.
You mean like a childrenofprimus.com website?
Yes, classified specifically for your robots. Say you're missing Zetar, so he can't have his right leg. Well, perhaps you can find him on there. Or if you have a spare Zetar, maybe you can post him on there so that somebody else can acquire their own right leg.
Well, there you go.
Because there's so many ways, let's face it, of ending up with a spare Zetar. Not exactly an A-list figure. Maybe a good candidate for the Wreckers Part 2.
Yeah. I mean, he has Wreckers written all over him with his level of importance.
He is a wreck.
Yeah. Literally, that's the gimmick of the weaponizers. You take them to pieces and you assemble the parts into something different, like it's Lego.
Wow.
Spin, did you send me that link?
I sent you the link.
Excellent. All right, talk amongst yourselves, gentlemen. I'm going to log in there.
Okay, at 1,000 subscribers, we will write the story of his origin. At 1,500 subscribers, Mike will make a stop motion. I'm absolving myself of that responsibility. I can write, but I can't video worth a damn. So that's got to be one of you guys.
Yeah,
I think Spin can handle it. There's some tutorials. We can have the lazy eyebrow reviewer. We can have him, pitch in some way, be an advisor.
Yeah. At 3,000 subscribers, we will write and illustrate his own 40-page spotlight comic.
Nice.
At 4,500, it's his own 3-issue Galaxies arc.
At what point does it stop?
I don't know. If we reach 10,000 subscribers,
you just have to give this guy a question. He knows how to run with it.
I'll go off. Yeah. At 10,000 subscribers,
you know very well.
At 10,000 subscribers, we'll send you your own by sourcing the figures ourselves and just sending them to you.
Like we'll show up at the door with the figure.
Yeah, with all 5 of them.
How many do we deliver? How many subscribers do we deliver a shit?
At 10,000.
That may be a little low for
really
personal delivery.
That is a personal.
I don't know if you have in mind that, I did say like 400,000. They're getting a figure. So you do have to keep this together with.
Oh, sorry. I forgot a couple zeros there. My bad.
Yeah, orders of magnitude, do matter.
Yeah. Orders of Magnitude is the name of his spotlight issue.
Wow.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I could see that working.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah, it was actually 400,000 that we said 5 figures. This is we're looking at Studio Series Cup, and the other 4 generation selects: Chromar, Aragon, Zatar, and Centurion. That's 5 deluxe size figures. And then if you use our instructions that we would have already printed at a lower level, you'll know how to build Cluck.
Question is, what is going on with the professor's screen or screens?
I love it when he does the infinite zoom.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not, I don't do masterpieces anymore, but I've been seeing that star scream out there, and I'm like, oh, that does something for me. It feels a lot more.
Yes, Ben, why don't you full screen this?
Anthony,
I'll let you introduce the topic. I'll just make clear what we got here, right? This is the Takara versus the Make Toys.
Surprisingly, I have an opinion on that.
You're gonna get your turn. Let me set up the goddamn. We gotta get everybody on the same page here. All right. So what you got here is on the left is the Make Toys, which came out in response to the flippity floppity multiple issues that we had with the original Masterpiece Takara models, both the MP03 and then the update, which is MP11. All right. So Make Toys third party came out and blew them away in terms of the articulation. And that was a couple of years ago, and now we have the new Takara. So there's a bunch of versus videos that have been put out by all the major reviewers. Spin, you can see you got the third party on the left here, Make Toys. You got Takara on the right. We'll throw to Anthony first, and then it will be your spotlight moment when he's done to really give your breakdown of what you think about these two figures and what you think about Anthony, what Anthony has to say about them. Over to you, Anthony.
Yeah. Okay. So I have, like I said, I have some relevant opinions because I have a Make Toys Seeker right here. This is their Generation 2 version of Starscream. And this is not a very good figure. And mainly because I don't know if they'd run the mold too many times, but he is a very, very floppy mess. Like, it doesn't take much for his waist to come undone. His wings don't like to stay together. They come off. Like sure, he's articulated, but he doesn't stay together, right? Like, he's just incredibly floppy all over. So if the Takara one actually has good construction and build quality, then it automatically just kind of wins by default, right? Because, like, I hold this guy and I shake him a bit and his waist just straight up comes out. So that is surprisingly my opinion. Now, maybe they fixed it. I don't know. They've run this mold a lot of times. I know that they re-released Stars.
It got progressively worse. Yeah. The first ones weren't like that.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Maybe the early ones were good, so I don't know because I don't have them. But I haven't looked into them too much, right? I just kind of got this guy blind because I like G2 stuff, and I was at TFCon, right?
How much was it?
I don't remember. It was some years ago, but it was pretty costly. Like it was triple digits for sure.
Well, triple, of course, it's a third party. It's over $100. But
yeah.
the cost proposition of these let me come back on screen. The cost proposition of these Make Toys versions initially was actually one of the draws. Because
I do remember that.
Yeah, when they first came out, remember, like, the original Masterpiece molds, they were 200 plus. I'm talking US dollars, right? 220, 250 bucks. They were expensive. And then when Make Toys came out, they were like 120.
Yeah.
For the first,
I don't have a mind for numbers.
For the first three, right? The original Seekers. And then when they were sold out, they were going for, especially Skywarp, he was going on the secondary market for like $400.
The Make Toys one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so they got up there. So it's an interesting kind of trajectory where Make Toys, this model, like, became like people were blowing trumpets about it when it first came out. Like it could do no wrong. It was the greatest thing ever made. Despite the fact that it had its, issues, people were really trumpeting its benefits when it first came out. I personally hated the head. You see how small it is and how dark it is. Like you can't even see the face on the Starscream. Yeah. And also, I love the articulation, but also just the presence and shape and sculpt of the bot. Yeah, I didn't really love, right, the proportions. So, but anyway, they kind of killed their reputation after the first three, because before they put out I think it was before they started doing the Coneheads, they did a crowdfund for Sunstorm. And then after that, they did Acid Storm, but the Sunstorm was a debacle. They were sending those Sunstorms out to people who had crowdfunded it, and they were falling apart, and they were super loose and all that kind of stuff. And then the one that you're showing,
it's like what I got going on here.
Yeah, exactly. And that one was sold at a premium. That wasn't $120. So they kind of killed their reputation, and then they only managed to ever come out with Dirge. I think it was Dirge as their Conehead, and they never managed to get the other Coneheads out. And Dirge I think he was called Endgame, and he was sort of reviewed like he was okay. He wasn't falling apart like some of these other ones. But it was a sad way that they sort of went up and were like being trumpeted as like, saving the Seekers. Like finally we have a Seeker mold that's worthy of a Masterpiece Collection. And then they really fumbled the ball.
Mold decay is real. It happens.
That's a meme. Mold decay awareness.
Yeah.
We should be have like a Transformers Mold Decay Awareness Week.
Yeah, any figure you run like a bunch of times over and over, it's gonna suffer those problems, right? I guess the one advantage that Hashtag has is because they're a larger game, they can afford to repair it or cast multiple molds. So that stuff it still happens, but it's less prevalent.
Man, I'm failing at nailing this shit. Okay, so over to you, Spin. What do you think about these two molds?
You know what? Give me a second. Let me look at them again.
I put them up there just specifically for you to scrutinize.
Yes.
I just looked up what that Masterpiece Starscream goes for. $360 Canadian. All right. Wow.
A mere 360. Nothing compared to MP44.
No, or compared to Mr. Original, Mr. Original from 1984. But I'm liking them to make toys one over the Takara.
Okay, break it down. Tell us why. I'm interested.
He just has more of a realistic look to the actual character. Color-wise, with the yellow cockpit and also the lighter shade of gray for his overall gray is lighter compared to the Takara version. You can also, and from the image that you have there, you can see a bit more of the eyes and a bit more of the eyes between the two, and they have a closer look to the G1 red style of the eyes than the other one. Like the other one almost looks the Takara one, the eyes kind of look more like of a darker red, which is the same as the cockpit, so it's not, it doesn't follow the color of the cartoon in a sense.
Say that, just clarify that for me. Like they're both red, so what is the difference? The eyes?
It's the cockpit and the eyes have a deeper red than say with the Make toys. It has a lighter red, which is the same as the rest of his body and the red outlines on his wings. And also the articulation just has a better look to it.
Yeah. Interesting. Here I've got this guy. So you guys have a different opinion, which is always fun. Also, the cockpit here. So which Can you tell which one this is?
I'm guessing it's Make Toys entirely because, like you said, it's got the opaque cockpit.
Yeah.
I just know that was a design aspect of them.
So a lot of people actually, that's interesting that you comment on not just the color but the opaqueness.
Yeah.
A lot of people complain. A lot of reviews that I watch. A lot of reviewers, Bobby in particular, who's my favorite reviewer, as I've mentioned, he doesn't like. I think I don't remember for sure, but a lot of reviewers complain about translucent or transclearance windows, and they prefer painted like this, opaque. And generally, I kind of like the translucent because I like things that look real. And, windows are translucent. Otherwise, they don't work well as windows.
Yeah.
But in this case, this looks really nice. Like that gold, like the way that shimmers in real life, that looks nice. And the jet is sleek.
It's because it's like there's like a thin layer of clear plastic over top of metal paint. Like that's how it's built.
Oh, you're right. You are right. Oh, you have this. So on yours, is the same thing?
Yeah. Just going off of what I see.
Yeah, and we got some nice die cast in here too. You got die cast on yours?
I think so. Yeah, like his shins are like his thighs are die cast. I honestly haven't picked this guy up in a while until you mentioned him. So like I haven't handled him in a bit.
What about the chest? Like the chest and the pauldrons? Those seem to be die cast.
Yeah, I think so.
Actually, I'm not sure.
Actually, question.
Yeah.
No, does the cockpit open?
I'm just testing it. It does, but I think it's used as a.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there's a proper seat there. I was going by his robot mode.
No, there's no seat. I don't have a seat in here.
Yeah,
but you do. It does open though.
Yeah.
I don't think you could fit one of the guys in there. It's pretty shallow.
So it's weird because it's holding together better than I remembered. So I'm like, are my opinions still valid? Oh wait, never mind. There's waist came apart.
So which part is it in particular that can you show us? What is the part that's coming?
This is like his waist here. You can see it's like a rotating joint, and you're supposed to clip it in, but it doesn't really stay in. It like if you pick him up, it like comes undone really easily.
I'm not really seeing. Spin, do we get a full screen on him?
Yeah.
All right, I gotta flip back to that scene. This stuff on here.
Yeah.
One day I'm gonna learn how to manage these monitors so I can see this shit myself. Hi guys. Here's a new.
Hello. It's a new angle.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Now I can see. Yeah, that crotch piece there, right? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, like it doesn't. It also seems like it wasn't really engineered to lock in. Like they were hoping it was going to stay in on friction, so there's no tabs or anything. But it like doesn't really stay in. It just kind of comes apart really easily.
It's funny, kind of like from a distant glance of it. He almost has more of a Superion look to him, right? Like than Starscream.
You mean an
Yeah, it was because this is the G2 version.
An aerial bot.
Wait, sorry?
You said he almost has a Superion look. Do you mean like as in an aerial bot look, or do you actually mean Superion?
Actually, Superion.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't quite have the stature for that.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, considering like G1 toys are like all different sizes, but it's just his overall look, just like from the midsection, like has and the legs kind of looks like Superion.
That's kind of cool, yeah. Well, and that relates to what Bobby said he liked most about this mold, which is he also acknowledged that the head is too small, but what he said is that these proportions with the legs big like that, and then the head small, the idea is to give you this sort of pyramid image, to give the visual effect that it's like this giant thing that you're looking up at.
Right.
So Yeah, that's interesting that you've independently sort of confirmed that effect.
Transformer minds think alike.
Yeah, I never really noticed the small head until you guys pointed it out. But I guess you're right. Yeah,
I think that's like to me, like I like them. I'm not swapping them out. I'm not buying another 6, official Seekers. You know, at 250
especially
bucks,
at that price.
I might get the Thundercracker just to have a representation of the mold, and because Thundercracker was one of my first Transformers, Thundercracker and Sunstreaker. So, I may get that just to have it, but I'm not swapping out all my Seekers again. The new guy is not that much better. And Spin, just like you, like I'm not a huge fan of this hypertune accuracy.
Yeah.
As we discussed, like I don't think I have a different view on, what tune accuracy means or should mean.
At some point, you want them to do the spirit and not the letter,
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But that said, I do want to say this. Those 2 images on the screen that I shared, like those 2 robots, not the jets, I think the Make Toys jet wins, but those 2 robots, I prefer the Takara look. I do think that the one head is too small, the other might be too big, but just like there's something about Spin it, like let me show it again while I'm talking about it.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I'm like, Bobby's here? You guys invited Bobby? What monitor is that? Is it 2? Is it 4? Is it 3? Is it 1? Eventually we'll get it. I'm just randomly pressing buttons. All right. There's a finite number of buttons here, right?
Eventually, you have to get it.
That's what you think, but like, how many buttons have I already pressed?
Well, as long as you don't click restart, you're fine.
Touche, mon ami. I think something fishy is going on. That's got to be 2. But it's not.
While we're waiting, I'm just gonna speak to my brand and say that I'm also quite happy with the Earthrise version of Starscream.
Well done. Yeah, because you rep the main line, right? Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, this is like a perfect half step between the old Classics Deluxe and like a Masterpiece type figure because it's got a little bit of both. For this guy, they took the Classics mold and like scaled it up and added more joints and more transformation steps, and I think it came out really nice. Like I got him and Skywarp and Thundercracker over there. Yeah. It's pepperoni. It's because she sees the meat and pepperoni on my pizza and she wants some, but she's not going to get any.
Oh, okay. Wait, so you call her pepperoni, but she can't get pepperoni?
No. Sometimes, but not often.
It's kind of cruel.
Yeah, that does seem like cruel and unnecessary.
You call someone like, yes.
Well,
I gotta tune out for a second.
She got
I gotta figure. I'm doing a little tech.
Oh boy, he's falling apart over there.
Yeah, my brain is imploding. See, you know what I need? I need like I don't know how, like, when Cobra Commander jacked your guys' thing, he like had a symbol to hide behind. That's what I need. I need like a Professor D like logo. Like Professor D will be back in a moment.
Well, do you have a logo?
I do, but it's outdated. I want to make a new one. Oh, here, this works. This is what I actually used before.
That's a good standby signal.
What are you seeing right now?
The Megatron Soundwave Starscream with classy, fashionable jackets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah. Never mind. Just give me a minute. So the reason why I was having trouble is because I was clicking on it, but I didn't realize. Oh, I realized what I'm doing. I was stupid. No point in me explaining it. I was just, I was doing the right
all right, you
thing,
tried.
but looking in the wrong place. There, simple. All right, so now that that's established, I can talk about what I was saying here. Okay, so back to regular schedule program. I think the stature, I totally agree with you. Like, there's that realism element, which I say that's what I want, and it is in general. But the body proportions, and the way, it could be the poses too, but the pose that Bobby has right here, it looks so lifelike. Like there's something that actually really does look like how he's got the shoulders there, looking over the shoulder. Like it really does feel to me like the living character.
Oh, are you talking like in the image that you have up?
Yeah. I'm talking about the Takara one.
Okay, yes.
You're talking about the masterpiece guy.
Wait, okay, never mind. I'm saying that here we go again. This guy who's
there we go again.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like how every time you change screens, it like whooshes away like that into an infinite window.
Yeah, one day
it's a good transition.
I'll be doing that like on purpose. Guess what I said to you guys?
What?
I said, "Oh yeah, I really have made advances in figuring out my streaming setup here." Clearly, there is still a little bit of work to do. It's a good thing I didn't say nobody knows how to work OBS better than me. Would have had to eat them their words. But anyway, how about I just show you this shot for a minute?
Just freestyle it like that.
There you go.
See, it looks like I know what I'm doing.
It's just the casual point of view. You're just talking. You're just hanging out.
No, that looks crazy.
There we go.
What is that? What's going on with that screen over in the corner there? Do you see that? That's too small for you.
In the right side?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just recursive.
But there's I can't point to it. There we go. I'm pointing to it. Oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna squish. Spin likes to squish heads, so here we go.
Wait, I don't see what you're seeing. No.
Okay. Yeah, you do. Here, look. This.
I can see.
Look at it. This bubble here. This moving light bubble. This bubble of energon.
Wait.
Right at the tip of my finger there.
You know what?
Yeah, what is that?
Oh, I see that. What is that?
A quad-dimensional tear in the time-space continuum.
Dude, you just broke like a few different rules here.
Well, that is what I do. So when I finally get all this high-tech shit working, and we do the Skids Lab stuff, what we're going to do is we're going to have a very in-depth explanation of how Transformers actually mass shift and what it has to do with is higher order dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So really the Transformers exist in higher dimensional time space. And so the reason why characters can be smaller and then larger is just as they move through our three-dimensional time space, we are sometimes only seeing them from a certain angle or on certain planes. And then when they're fully into space, they appear much larger. And when most of their mass is in higher dimensional space, they appear smaller. I can't believe I was able to actually say that. And with some sentences that are pretty coherent.
How many Patreon subscribers before we jump into that portal and see where it goes?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to need a little bit more money in my lab here, but I definitely am working on it. Anthony, did we talk at all about Blender?
The 3D program?
Yeah.
I'm aware of it. I believe you've mentioned it before, too.
Yeah, so like once I get the whole green screen set up popping, then I'm gonna start, designing spaces, and then eventually we'll be able to jump into those higher dimensional space using our VR headsets, of course.
We're gonna become VTubers?
Oh gosh.
I think so. Have you watched any?
A little bit, just enough to grasp the concept.
Tell me about what you've seen. I haven't watched a lot, but I also do intend to become a Beat Saber ninja.
Yeah. Well, VTubers tend to stream games most of all, but they do YouTube and stuff too. And it's a person with a VR setup, and they've created a CGI avatar, and they control it with their motion rig so that the viewer is actually just seeing the CGI character instead of them. And it's just recorded live, them doing whatever, but it's the character and it's being motion tracked from them.
Yeah. So like you could see how that could be cool, but the way you've described it doesn't sound like something I would be interested in watching. Like it's still too.
Yeah.
What's the word? What is the word? Like not. It's still too Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I like to say I'm aware of it. Doesn't mean I'm a fan of it. I'm just like, oh, that's what this is about.
Yeah. But do you see? But like. Do you have a vision for like when that would be something that you would want to be part of, either as a creator or just as a consumer? Like at what point do you think the scale, the technology or the innovation would become such that this kind of a format would no longer be interesting? Like you know how like let me illustrate it like this. When we were watching Transformers in the 80s, or in your case, early 90s, think about what those televisions looked like, right? And now, like, if you tried to watch that, and our imaginations were captivated looking at those screens, right? Mm-hmm. Those little, tube screens. But we can't, they're cute now. You can't watch something on that when we got these giant screens like this, right? So similarly, right, at what point do you think, like what would be required visually or interactively? What do you envision as being sort of the tipping point where watching YouTube videos or streams like the one we're trying to do here would just, would feel like you're watching one of those TVs from the 80s?
I think it's more a matter of access to the technology than the technology itself. Right now, it's expensive. It's very difficult to figure out. One of the VTuber things that I saw was about a guy who was getting set up for the first time and getting his rig working and all the problems he went through. So once it filters down to the point where it's cheap enough and idiot-proof enough that anybody can set it up, that's when that'll happen, I think.
Right.
Because right now it's both the technical know-how and the financial know-how are both way up there.
But they're coming down. So I hear you, but like the way you were describing, even the tech, the way you were describing what you've seen, presumably that's people who are set up, and that still doesn't seem like it's that much better. It doesn't seem like the after somebody goes through all of that, gets the tech working, that they're presenting something that is so much more engaging.
Well, I say 2 bites of pizza. One of the big factors is that all the people that set these up are playing fictionalized characters instead of themselves.
Right.
Like it's not me. It's this person who's a cartoon character with a personality and backstory. So that's I think the difference. Which
So
it's not my thing, but it's popular.
But this is along the lines of what I'm asking you. Like, so maybe you're saying like. So this is a question for both of you guys to give your opinion on. Is it, let's say that the tech as it exists now was available. Let's take that as a given. Let's say we could all have the tech, as it is now. Would the bottleneck be the tech still isn't good enough? Or, and if so, then the question is at what level? Like, what would be required for that tech to be more engaging? Or is it as you seem like you might be suggesting the people who are doing it, people who do have access right now, are just not creative enough to do anything very engaging with what they actually have? And that's a very interesting question. So if so, then like, what do you imagine? Like, let's say we had that shit, and let's say Spin and I were tech whizzes slightly better than we've shown ourselves to be thus far. Mm-hmm. How could we do what we are envisioning in VR in a way that would be engaging to an audience that we could envision? Over to you guys.
I have thoughts on that, and I think it's what's being presented to the viewer that could be different because, and it's like 90% of VTubers, it seems like, come out of Japan. So like, they're all anime girls. That's like what's being presented to people most of the time. Or the ones that aren't, they're like cutesy cartoon characters, right? Like that's just what's popular. That's what the people that have it are doing with it. So anything that's like not that would automatically be the difference, right? Like we have our resting image of Hot Rod, Shockwave, and the rest. I'm like, well, what if he used the VTube to create characters along those lines instead of the same particular art style and genre that like every VTuber is,
Mm-hmm. So now that seems obvious now that you say it, but like, yeah, I hadn't thought about that at all. I'm thinking about shit that is way more complex, way more crazy. But like that totally is doable for us, I think, in the foreseeable future, within a year maybe, to be able to do that. Because like, what do you need? You need you need VR tracking, which exists and is getting cheaper. Yeah. Right, full body tracking.
You need a computer that can handle it.
Right, and then you just need a model, like a 3D model of your favorite Transformer character, and then we could be having and then you're having this conversation as Hot Rod.
Mm-hmm. Ever since you called me Perceptor one other stream, I'm like, okay, that's who I'd have to be, just to fit my personality.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think some people apparently don't like them, but I mean,
That's it right there. That's
but just like I said, Spin, if we didn't have him, we'd have to hire him. So
yeah.
So do you remember that episode with Braun where Braun was picking on Perceptor?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They went inside Megatron, right?
Yeah.
They shrunk down and yeah.
I think that one, back when we had that discussion where you were talking about Prime being a paragon and all that kind of stuff, and being sort of a little corny, like that. That episode is one of those episodes where like he has like some cringe fucking lines. Like his line to Braun is like, when Braun insults Perceptor, he's like, "That's enough, Braun. We just want the whatever the thing is. We just want the energy converter, not bad feelings." It's like, what are you doing, guys? Come on.
Well, you know what? How about we try to find that episode, and why don't we do a test run on our other idea?
I can do that. I can do that right now. I know precisely where it is.
Microbots. There we go.
Do you want to play it from your end, or I think we should play it from my end because we've tested that, right? Like we get smoother video.
Well, we could try both.
I was just gonna say that. Okay.
Although one thing is, I will have to say that as we're testing, anyone watching on YouTube will have to come over to our Facebook page. You know, because YouTube is doesn't allow for free thought of copyright material.
Yeah, I know they're bad about that.
Which is not to say that we endorse Facebook as a paragon of freedom of speech. All right, let's not get it twisted.
This is correct.
It's not what we're saying.
So as I sign off of YouTube.
Before you do that, let me ask this.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't do this, then no problem. But I was wondering if you could if there's a way for you to like leave on YouTube a message to say, you know, click over here, like, you know, stream ended at this time, but we've continued the after show. We're having the after show over on Facebook.
That is exactly what it would be, an after party. I can actually write that right here.
Yeah. Oh, you can. Yeah, I guess maybe you use sort of like the same as you have the intro page.
Yeah.
You put it up like as an outro page.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds good. Why don't I propose that we take a 5-minute break and reconvene on Facebook.
That sounds like a plan. So.
All right. Now everybody fade to your favorite Transformer.
It is the year 2005. The treacherous Decepticons have conquered the Autobots' home planet of Cybertron.